You took your shot already, Vicky?
It's been that kind of a week.
Miss me with that bullshit. You ain't really wild, you a tourist. I be blacking out with the purist. I made 100,000, then I freaked it. I made 500,000, then I freaked it. I bought an 80.
I haven't done a good fade in a long time, but I haven't had my computer in a long time.
There you go.
It's back! Woo. Fade skills on 20.
On 20.
Welcome, everybody!
Oh, you're screaming.
Sorry.
Welcome, everybody.
This is what are these things called when people talk into the mic?
Is it erotica?
No, it's like a sound thing. Vicky, undocumented after dark. Anyway, well, there's people watching, guys.
Oh, yeah, welcome to episode 3. We have a special guest with us today, Vicky.
Hi.
Vicky, introduce yourself.
Arguably the best coast, the East Coast, Kenya.
Gang, gang.
Yeah, but yeah.
Deborah's gonna fight you. Because
might.
she's the original
The
Kenyan.
original. Okay, yeah. I have some choice words for that.
Oh,
but-
choice words?
We don't want to start
I'm
no
kidding.
smoke.
It's all love. We grew up together.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24 living in Charlotte.
Yes.
Ooh, I like that. 24. Do the thing.
Oh,
Welcome, Vicky. Welcome, Vicky.
Oh, God.
oh my gosh. That was such a struggle.
Well, welcome.
All right. Well, welcome
you.
to Vicky. We're really excited to have you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Today's episode is talking about what was it again?
Self-care.
Self-care.
Come on, we need to regroup. Let's start with self-care. Let's take a shot
Okay.
Yeah.
and get it
We
together.
totally forgot the shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we Vicky requested a shot. We haven't done a shot since episode 1.
And we've
then,
all had a really long week.
yeah, but the thing is, Vicky took her shot before we even knew what was happening, so she's having
Didn't
to.
see the need of ceremony.
So yeah, so we're going to shot and then we'll toast to
Shout to God's plan. Because
Yeah, God's
Drake
plan.
is
Yeah.
shot worthy.
Yeah.
That wasn't that bad.
No, like the aftertaste, like
Diaria, thank you for whatever this thing is from Korea.
Korea.
Because it's really good.
Kamsamida.
Is that a real Korean
Yeah,
word or is
it
it
actually
Mandarin?
means thank you.
all right.
All right. Well, moving on.
Yeah.
Let's focus.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
So today's episode is about self-care. And we started talking about it because, Vicky, you were talking about how your new thing for 2018 was self-care.
It is self-care season.
Mm-hmm.
Why? What brought this about?
Basically, I was hoodwinked at my
Wait.
No, I'll explain. But like, I was truly like tricked into taking a financial peace course,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't like really that much into it. But I was like, you know what? My wallet could use a little help. I'm a learner.
Yeah.
So I started doing it. It's like a 10-week class, and I mean, you may or may not like the person that's in it, but or that teaches it.
Mm-hmm.
But the tools are like truth.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started like getting my finances in order, it was wild how like everything else kind of got in order, and I began to put myself as a priority.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so 2018, I was like,
Self-care season.
self-care season. Like,
Yeah.
I like that.
it's okay to be selfish, and at this point in my life, like it's the best time to be that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that.
Have you? Well, you've only been doing it for about a month or two.
So I finished the 10 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
And then after that, so like you start implementing the tools like from then. So I've been doing it since, what was it? I think it started in November.
Okay.
So like,
Have you seen a difference?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to like budget every month.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, like when you're with somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a little bit of accountability because you're there's somebody there like watching what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But when it's just you, yourself, and I, you can have those conversations in the grocery store, like, I'm really feeling all of this section.
That's a fact.
And there you go. Or
That's
like,
a fact.
I'm feeling like not cooking tonight or all week.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. And so I think it's been I don't know, it's been good. Challenging myself to be disciplined. Yeah. And then I see it like benefiting in other areas.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, like what?
For example, like if I have some trips planned and, normally that would be not eating a few weeks up until to make sure I could get all.
You said not
eating?
Just being real. That until you're ready to go.
Right.
But at this point, where I'm like able to like set aside what I need to do. And some of these things, I mean, it's not anything new.
Yeah.
It's stuff that we've always known.
Yeah.
But it's like you're in a class with people and they're like, if you know better, you should do better.
Right.
And they
feel
hold
a
your
little bit
corner.
more guilty.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then also just some eye-opening things like debt.
Yeah.
Real things. Some things about like insurance and like it's possible to be overinsured. Like how many times do we just like sign off on packages at work and we don't even read the fine print on whether you're getting a legitimate retirement plan that's actually like working for you.
Yeah.
And that kind of a thing. So
yeah,
I feel like if you're doing what you have to do now, we'll be able to do what we want to do later. And it's like,
you better quote things from Financial Peace, girl.
Building, I mean, we're all about building empires.
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
like now is like the best time. And literally, I feel like our generation, there is no limits.
Oh,
you can
sure.
make money sitting down at your home with your computer.
Yeah.
There's no limits.
There's no reason not to.
Do that now. So.
Case in point.
Yeah, it's interesting you brought up the thing about retirement because we went to one of our friends had a money night out thing.
Yeah.
And we're just talking about like, IRAs and 401ks and all these different retirement plans. And for me, I've always known I'm not going to retire in the US. And so it's like, okay, all these things are cool, but these plans are not for me and it's like, okay, well, you actually need a cash account. And I'm like, oh, those things exist where your money is fully liquid. It doesn't matter when you take it out. You have access to it within a day or so. And I think that's another thing is whenever you start to care about yourself in one specific area, I think your mind is kind of like, oh, wait, we matter.
Right.
And it starts bleeding into other areas.
Absolutely.
Even like your relationships with other people.
I feel like as immigrants especially, it's a wild concept for us because our parents came here and they're saving, working for their kids. Like their time, all we've ever seen is like their sacrifice, I feel like. We haven't really seen what it looks like for the season of like
harvest.
Harvesting for us, like putting in the things that we want to see in our own future.
Exactly.
And so I feel like in some ways, like we're mavericks. We're having to like
figure
it out ourselves.
Yeah.
It's difficult because for me, it actually is kind of, I don't know if the word is, it's not painful. It's sad. Because as immigrants, I feel like we have an excuse. Like our parents don't know how to navigate the financial climate here. They didn't know how to tell us to like start certain things when we're certain ages. They didn't know how to do any of this, but it's not just an immigrant issue. A lot of people of color, a lot of people, period, especially people of color, don't have any financial literacy and are just like winging it. And I think it's important that people take steps like you have to actually try and gain some understanding, because if you just keep winning, it's just a generational thing. And that wealth gap between white people and people of color is going to keep growing. I mean, it's gotten a little bit smaller, but just by a fraction.
Right.
Yeah.
It's also, I think, an age thing. I feel like a lot of people don't take it into account until much later on in life when they're like settled in their career.
Yeah.
But where were your goals when you were, just starting out so that you could have standards for your life?
Yeah.
I met up with a financial planner in an investment company. And it was wild because do I have the coins to be a part of an investment company. No.
Right.
But I wanted to know what are the steps for that kind of lifestyle in such and such years. And the guy was impressed. He was like, you would definitely be one of the youngest people that have ever come into my office. And he was so open to talk to me and even set up an appointment a year from now to track my progress free of charge, because he's like, you doing the right things now? Well, he was like, you doing the right things now showed me that you have insight to do the right things later.
Yeah.
And I want to have this relationship so when you do have those coins,
you can come to me.
Yeah, right.
All he thought was cha-ching, cha-ching,
right?
We don't think far enough ahead.
No.
And that's been the biggest thing. I think also just being in our situation for so long, we've only thought about surviving to the next
actual survival.
Yeah, like actual survival. And it's almost now it's a novel idea that you're allowed to plan for your life and you're allowed to have these, like for me, I've always been a big planner, and my godmother calls me a balloon rider, because like the moment something's happening, like I'm in the sky, hot air balloon, I'm with it. But I've had to learn how to be tethered to the ground, because like unfortunately failures and just the climate and our status has led to a lot of disappointments, and having to condition to yourself to being open to dreaming and planning and goal setting again, and understanding still like some outcomes may happen and you're still allowed to dream, you're still allowed to plan, but you also have to be cognizant of the fact that things may not always go this specific way. Yeah. But yeah, that's really exciting. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, same.
I'm super proud of you.
Thanks.
But you know,
y'all are my inspo. I feel like every time I like meet up with you guys, it inspires me to like dream bigger, because Joan,
that is a really huge compliment.
Yeah,
seriously. Like, Joan, you are a big dreamer, and you don't let any obstacle like so.
We'll figure this out, right?
And Winnie, like, you are always about like encouraging the people, and also like following your own path, which you've talked about on this podcast. It's been hard to do, especially from the culture and the environment we've been raised in. It's not really been allowed. So, I mean, you guys are trailblazers, and sure, you know.
Episode
oh my
over.
God, like
just a little.
Thank you guys. This has been episode 3.
We'll send you
Stay tuned
invoices.
for more greatness.
Oh my God. Okay, so I mean, it's Valentine's Day week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean,
When this is dropping.
You said
Oh,
what?
sorry. I said when this is dropping.
Self-care leads into other things. So not just your finances, you know, who you relate with and people you engage with. So, I mean, what's up with you? What are you doing for Valentine's Day? How are you taking care of yourself or someone else?
Yeah. So, like, I have a very steamy hot date planned.
Oh, steamy hot?
With me and myself. No, for real. Like,
why are you making that face? I'm me and myself.
No, my plan is literally to like do all the things that I love. And people, like, I don't believe in the I hate Valentine's Day or single awareness day. Like, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually very, like,
you're happy you're single.
Right.
I'm really okay. And if I wanted that to change, like, it's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I plan on drawing a hot bath.
Yeah.
The wine, the candles, do all that stuff.
Yeah.
For myself, I used to live with a girl, and she would like ready her whole life for a guy to come over, like clean up, wipe everything down, make everything like create like
this ambiance,
like a whole thing. And I'm like, why would you like do that for yourself too?
Right.
Like, you're important too. I feel like sometimes we do that as women, like we cater a lot to other people and our significant others. But, yeah.
Actually, that's inspired me. I think I'm gonna go to the spa.
Do it. Ritz-Carlton or
the Umstead.
Yes.
Umstead is my favorite.
Nails done. Facial. Massage.
I love facials. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go. I mean, last year me and Winnie went on a Galentines date. We went to get Indian food. We dressed up.
Yeah.
And we took photos. We were really excited.
Everything.
We're probably gonna do the exact same thing this year.
As extra as you can. And if you think about it, you probably spend the same amount of money, like, for hair, nails.
Yeah. To get ready for like a date.
Yeah.
Exactly. For a special like Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So I mean, unless you have all of that already set up.
Right?
Some of us have to employ someone to do our eyebrows. But
I mean, baby steps.
Go ahead, Wayne.
No, I was just saying that I had nothing to say.
I'm tired of you.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Do you think
No, I honestly, okay, be totally honest. That shot was really strong, and I am over here kind of high. And I don't only ate once today, so please forgive me.
no lie, it was very
Yeah,
strong.
yeah. You know how you feeling?
You took
I'm
2.
feeling right. But, I just ate, but I'm feeling right.
Okay. All right. Boom, 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 boom. That's cool.
Oh no, this is what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, no, I was talking. Going back to the topic of self-care. I just wanted to just talk about how we shouldn't just do it just on like Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
There's this morning, like the Saturday morning, I decided to I took a bath. I had like this body scrub. I did like lotion myself. It was like lit a candle. Stayed in the tub for like a little bit. Didn't even have my phone. I just had music playing.
Oh my god!
And it took me it was like a total of 2 hours. But I had the best day after that.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I started noticing that whenever I would get ready for work, I'll get up like an hour early.
Yeah.
Like take a shower, like not rush, like take a shower, like sit down and just like relax, like not get on my phone, like meditate, and like those are the days that I had a really productive and really like clear day.
Mm-hmm.
So self-care should be like an everyday thing. Like we can make time for it, like earlier in the morning. Just get up a little bit earlier and you can do it. So that was it.
And you set really good habits for yourself. There's somebody was saying that to help promote really good thinking and innovation within yourself, you should stop using any electronics 20 to 10 minutes before you're about to go to bed.
I literally just read that.
Yeah.
I'm bad at that.
Yeah. Because I'll be in my bed and then my phone falls on my face. But they were if you do that and then because people whose minds race a lot because that's why people do it, because their minds race. Take a notepad and write down all the questions that are going through your mind.
Yeah.
Write them all down and see what and then put the notepad next to you, lay down, go to bed.
Yeah.
Wake up that morning and instead of reaching right for your phone, pick up your notepad. Look at the questions because you wrote them down you were thinking about them as you were sleeping, and start answering those questions and start your day off in a really good space of thinking and problem solving.
I like that.
And then pick up your phone and then move forward. And I think it's great because I've been doing the same thing about just my prayers.
Yeah.
And it's writing down really what I want to see happen in my life, my friends' lives, my family's life. And just kind of doing it boldly and audaciously. Is that the same word?
It is a synonym, and that's also you. That is also you. That's in a picture, bold and audacious, and everything else.
Okay. Pretend that didn't happen. But yeah, and so allowing yourself to see these great things for you,
Yeah.
Because even as hard as we may try to do this whole self-care thing, the world still happens.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And you still want to hit that snooze button
over and over again.
7 times.
Yeah.
No, that's me. I have 7 alarms set.
Mine are even labeled. The first one is capital letters. Wake up now.
Second one is you have a couple
Knowing
minutes.
I'm gonna ignore it.
That's hilarious.
But, it's so bad that whenever I hit snooze, I know that the timer started for 8 minutes. And so I think my body has become conditioned to it. So I'll wake up at 7:55.
Oh God!
And then wait for it to start going off again and hit snooze again.
And then you hit snooze again.
Yeah, it's really bad. And then it's bad because I have my alarms 15 minutes apart.
Yeah.
So I'll hit snooze. The second alarm will go off while the first alarm snoozes overlap it. And so then they start crossing over. And my body's crap, we can't do the 7:55 wake up anymore. Dang. And that's when I wake up.
No, so I read this, I ain't finished it because the book was trash, but this lady was...
No, Vicky was in my room and she was like, oh, you guys should do a segment on books. I was like, we need us to read.
No, I do if it interests me, but because she was just like being really repetitive, but it's called like the 5-second rule, and she like tested the 5-second rule, and like she tested this theory is like whenever we decide to do something, our brain has 5 seconds to either you have to act on it or after that 5 seconds you start thinking about it. So she was like, whenever your alarm goes off, you have 5 seconds, like count down like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just get up. Wow. And just keep doing that. And you just keep doing it consistently. Because after 5 seconds, that's when you like, you start exactly, and then you just kind of start like procrastinating and like staying in bed and just kind of like not starting your day. Even if it's like, oh, I need to go start my laundry. Actually, let me just lay down. Like, let me be on the phone until 7:30. Like I'll be on my phone at like 7:15. I'm like, at 7:30 I'll get up. You know I start scrolling, then it's like 7:45 or like 8 o'clock. So whenever you think about something, like get up and do it like right away because your body is gonna start like figuring out reasons not to do it. Yeah.
Oh, I see that because like last year I read The Power of Habit, and it was like your body is gonna do what it's been like habitually conditioned to do. So like if you keep pressing,
my body's on snooze.
Like your body is a snooze button. Your body, so that makes so much sense. You have to in the pretty much he was like, in order to create a new habit, like you have to like have a different, like you have to start a new cue and you have to start a new like routine to make you do it. Like you have to think about what you're going to do, the steps, and then make it a habit by doing it over and over again.
Right.
And that might turn me into a morning person.
Yeah.
Try it. The thing.
Try it. And then, like, if you know that you have a snooze problem, sleep away from your phone. Like, set your phone, like, see?
It does not work.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me.
So you will wake up and walk to your phone and press snooze and go back to bed?
But you know me, I can do things while I sleep.
Yeah, you can.
So I'll literally like get up, walk over, press, because I know that snooze is in the middle and stop is at the bottom. So I'll know not to go near the end of my phone, press, and then I will walk back.
I can't tell you how many times I've found my phone, as in I've woken up and I found my phone going off underneath my pillow. I've like been like,
yeah. Well, anyways,
it's hard, and it's hard.
It is hard
whenever the sound starts like merging into your dream.
Right, and then you don't wake
until
up.
I get annoyed, it's just like, oh, we have a fire drill at work, and that's in my dream. So I'm like, but my alarm is telling me, girl, get up right now.
Even in the dream, your alarm should have been telling you, get out of the building
right
now.
You would think, huh?
But anyways, I mean, work on it. It's a work in progress. Try it out. Yeah. But anyways, self-care.
Can self-care be negative?
As in you're selfish?
Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of with a lot of things, of course, they can be trendicized or whatever. And I think a lot of people, not a lot, some people have made self-care a reason to be inconsiderate. Or to be selfish.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, I'm in my self-care tip. It's like, yeah, but you still have to be a considerate person and do things a certain type of way and still take care of yourself.
Yeah. So I don't think self-care is negative. The people that use it for that reason to just kind of like be selfish, that's when it can be negative. Because self-care, it's self-care. Like when is it bad to take care of yourself?
Never.
Exactly.
Do you feel like people are more prone to have self-care habits or prone to neglect?
Neglect.
Yeah, neglect. Yeah.
I think it's easy to neglect.
Yeah. Especially like being like mom with kids or something like that.
Not
like
even.
Someone with a
think about yourself.
Crazy job.
No, think about yourself. Like when you were in college, there are certain things you neglected.
True.
Like whether it was your health, because the cafeteria wasn't offering up healthy options. So it was how you ate, drinking, all these different things. We neglected ourselves in that way. And I think we neglect, like I can name places in my life now that I neglect and I know I'm neglecting. But I just don't have time to not neglect. But in other places I'm like, oh yeah, I'm taking care of myself.
Right.
But I think neglect is gonna come. It's gonna happen.
Right.
And that just comes with accepting that you cannot tackle everything all at once.
Right.
Because that's when self-care turns into like self deprecation. Where like you get down on yourself for no reason.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just my thought process on that.
Yeah. I think if if you're not used to like self-care, and like you said, because like whenever, because of course, like I used to work like 28/7, and whenever, because I had so much going on, whenever I'd have like some downtime, I felt like I was wasting my time. Like I could be doing something else. So I think like just kind of like changing your mindset and just kind of putting yourself first is important. And we need to learn how to do that. And that's it.
And if you don't reach all those goals, not feel
okay.
like you're a complete failure.
Right, exactly. It is okay. Yeah, I was just telling my sister today because she was like, we were just talking. She's like, she mentally like checks stuff off a checklist in her head, and she hasn't created the habit to write everything down. I was like, you kind of have to when you have a lot going on, because you'll forget, you'll drop, even if it's something really
5
really
seconds
tiny.
later.
Something really tiny. I was like, you have to learn how to write them down, because when you do, you see what you have to do, but you also don't have to, like we said, don't have to tackle it at that moment. I was like, I noticed like whenever I first got a planner, I'll write like my whole to-do list, and it's like 40 things, right? And then like I'm like, okay, I want to tackle like 20 of these today, knowing damn well that is not gonna happen. And then the next day, like I'm down on myself because I'm like, damn, like that 10 minutes that I took to go to bed, I could have done this, you know? And then I just started like being really like negative towards myself. And then I learned to like just set like 5 goals a day. It's like, these are the 5 things I'm going to accomplish, and then move these to another day so that I finish those 5 things. And then when the week is over, I'm just like, okay, cool. Like I completed everything. Yeah. I didn't shit on myself because like some shit can wait. Right. But we get in our own way. We get in our own way like a lot of times. But
it's interesting you said that, because Tim Ferriss has this book like called The Tools of Titans, and it's just written by all different like awesome like CEOs, athletes, all these things. And he talks about how is that the same book I'm talking about?
That's okay.
No, it's a different book.
It's
called
title.
The One Thing. This is a different book. Okay, it's called The One Thing. And it's about how, and it was talking about willpower and discipline. And it was talking about how, like, a lot of times people's goals for themselves when it comes to starting businesses, achieving goals, whatever, is that they need to, like, get, like, a stronger willpower and have more discipline. Right. And he was talking about how much energy it takes to have willpower and to be disciplined, like mental energy. Yeah,
so much.
And so, like, they did an example where they gave these kids an option between like an unhealthy snack and like a healthy snack with like positive reinforcements for the healthy snack or something, and they didn't go through anything, so they picked the healthy snack. And then they put other kids who they made them go through like a stressful situation and then asked them to pick, and they would have to wait for the healthy snack or they would immediately get the unhealthy snack, and they just took the unhealthy snack because they were like, we don't have time to be disciplined enough to wait. And that's the same thing with goal setting and to-do list. The cat
acted up. She's making so much noise.
But yeah, it was goal setting and to-do list. Like, I realized I can't make my to-do list the same day I have to do those things. Chill out, bro. Sorry. I can't make my to-do list the same day I have to do those things, because the energy it took to make that to-do list, and because when I make my to-do list, I put like little bullets under each to-do for you to accomplish the details of each. And so my to-do list is like a list, and then side bullets, and then like little other side bullets and comments. And so it's like, after all that to-do list, I'm like, good day. That's it. I don't have time to actually complete the task because I worked so hard to make this list. So I have to make my list the day before.
That literally just happened to me yesterday. I made the list. I was like, whew.
You got in your bed?
I was already in my bed, and I was just like,
bruh. Every time I make my to-do list, like now I make it on Sundays. And so every time I make it, I literally crawl in my bed. I'm like, whew. I'm gonna accomplish Sunday. And I feel so good.
That's what Sundays are for. Sundays are for planning. Like, you can relax. You can relax and then just have like a clear mind and just kind of like make that list and not having to worry about having to do something now.
Yeah.
And then like just start on Monday. So that's
one
that.
thing that's different for me is that I'm an extrovert, and I've always felt like I've used that as an excuse to like. So, like, for example, I'll have a to-do list for this week and saying, like, Tuesday and Thursday, I'm supposed to do such and such thing. And it will take just one person to be like, hey, girl, you want to grab dinner? And I'll be like, yeah, schedule's free. I'm not doing anything. Are you? Like, and so speaking of will, like, because I've dealt with, like, the need to please all my life, I've always felt like, to put other people in front of what I'm doing is like such a good thing. It's like a sacrifice for me, but it's like also so beneficial because now they like me. I'm like gaining from it, and it's a complete cop out and complete excuse from me neglecting what I set out to do for myself. And the only one who doesn't profit is me, because me not showing up to dinner that Tuesday night is not going to make them hate me. And if it does,
they're not your friend.
Bye. So I feel like, I don't know, that resonates, especially with someone who is like quick to find any excuse to do out. To not.
But don't use that as an excuse to say, I've used all my willpower for the day, so I'm going to just do whatever comes at me. I used all my willpower today to wake up and not hit the snooze button, so I'm with everything today.
I think that, because I know there have been plenty of times I've skirted some responsibilities, but that's because I just didn't want to. Like, I didn't want to be responsible.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would have, like, work to do. John would be like, you want to go here? I'm like, yeah.
Why not?
Like, and I know there's been plenty of times we've like gone out somewhere knowing damn well we have so much shit to do, but like sometimes you need that break. But anyways, it's about balance.
So, oh man, my dick is on.
I was about to say I haven't even tasted mine.
Oh, you waste time. Anyways,
so you committed to, in terms of self-care for your finances. What's one area of your life where you have not focused on and you could impose more self-care in, and are you going to challenge yourself to do that? Yeah,
so like a big thing for me is like I love reading, and I felt like it's been forever since I like had read a good book like consistently, and like I gained something from it. And it's something that, like, I genuinely enjoy. So, I don't know why, but I just feel like I had gotten in the routine of, like, watching this show or something before bed. Like I have this, like, beautiful bookcase and beautiful TV that's right in front and just casting whatever I want, or, like, being on my laptop or whatever. And I have been doing my best to commit myself to, like, reading before bed, whether it's, like, a book like Power of Habit, whether it's like biography of somebody I want to know more about. For example, I got Gabrielle Union's We're Gonna Need a Little More Wine for Christmas. And so like I feel like I know her on a way different level.
Y'all be friends
your
now?
bestie.
I just feel like, I mean, we don't think exactly alike at all. But I feel like I can see more of her perspective. And so, like, when she tweets or because she's a public figure, like, I now have a different view of her than I did before. And that's what it's about. Like, for me, like, it's about changing my perspective on the world, growing. I'm not in school right now, but that doesn't mean I have to stop learning.
Amen.
So I'm going to pick up, my goal is also to pick up a language through reading and just, I don't know, we'll see. You know, Espanol for
you already speak Korean, girl. You might as well keep going with that. Read the alcohol bottle for us.
Wait, do you really speak Korean?
No, I think she just leave that word.
I know.
She's like a lie. Anyways.
What about you, Wendy? What's one area of your life where
Oh God.
You kind of ignored what you need to take a pledge right here, right now to focus on?
I would say I don't know. I would say more self-care, I guess. More consistently. just like spending time like alone, but not like isolated.
Yeah.
You know, just that. I think I've been doing a pretty good job of just kind of like paying attention to the negative things that I have and just trying to get rid of distractions and stuff. So I would say more self-care. Yeah. It's still, well, it is February now, so I guess we'll find out at the end of this month how that goes. But you?
I take a lot of pride in my work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whether it's like a personal thing or if it's at my actual job.
Mm-hmm.
And learning to say no. This can be an act of self-care, I think.
Absolutely.
And
that's the main act of self-care.
Yeah.
Because saying no is saying yes to something else.
Myself. Say yes to you. Oh, dang, I can't even toast it.
I can't toast it. Yeah, and so because of my life and because of how I've had to like get to where I am, my biggest thing has always been wherever job I end up, learn the jobs next to me and above me, because then I can always be irreplaceable and mobile,
upwardly mobile.
And so that's always been my thing, and that's stayed consistent. And I think that's a good character trait to have. But now in a space of like where the person who's in charge of me, it's the boss, is the owner of the company. And so like if I was to be upwardly mobile, it'd be like I'd be a VP or, you know, something like that. And understanding that I don't get paid at that level. And so even though I can do some of those responsibilities and taking them on, I don't necessarily have to. Yeah. Because at this point, like, it's not when I was younger and I was illegal and I just needed to work and make myself irreplaceable. Right. I got my papers now. No for me. I'm not doing that. Yeah. And so learn how to say no and learning how to like and set people's expectations and show them that I'm still a hard worker, but that just because of my hustle does not mean that I'm going to do this thing for free.
Yeah, that's really good. Because when I was at my other job, when I started out as a caregiver, then I moved into the office, but I was still getting paid like a caregiver rate, but I was like office assistant, and I got paid like 50 cents more, right? And I'm doing that, so then I got promoted to like care manager, but I was because I only had like an associate's, I couldn't get like the full pay because you know you're required to have a bachelor's or have some sort of training, so we really can't pay you at this rate.
Which is a lot. And you can do whatever you want to do.
I was there illegally, so I'm like, all
right. I'll take it.
But then, like, so I'm going to school for like graphic design, so I found myself making the flyers, making ads, you know, like creating the schedule and like managing like 60 plus clients and the caregivers that are taking care of them, and still doing this for $20,000 a year.
Listen, we were on the poverty line till about
my
couple years ago,
and so I was like,
oh my god!
And so whenever I got the courage to like leave, like it was so exhilarating because that was my first time saying no, and it was a big ass fat ass no. Like, I'm not gonna keep doing this. You're not paying me. And like I'm stressed out. I'm like 100 pounds. I'm like, you know,
she really was. Her butt was gone.
No, I remember literally seeing you, and I'd be like, wow, what a beautiful way to deal with your problems. You lose weight. I've never been jealous of somebody's struggle.
I cannot deal, bro. That's just not. I was one time I was scared to leave the house and I thought Winnie's gonna kill herself because she was so skinny. I had to call somebody else to make sure that they were gonna be at the house by the time that I left. Like, that's how skinny she had become. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. But I didn't feel like I had the freedom to leave, and I felt trapped, and I felt like I had to say yes all the time because I was disposable. And in that field, like the turnover rate is like crazy. It's nuts. I was like firing people every other week. It wasn't firing them. I was taking them off the schedule because if they got fired, then they get unemployment. But it was just a whole bunch of bullshit. So saying no is really like empowering. So,
well, guys, this was great.
Yeah. 40 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Already?
We were supposed to be done, but we're starting a new segment right now called World Recap.
Yeah.
Not a new segment, but it's
Well, the next segment.
next segment.
All
All right, so Vicky, I'll start, and then if you have any things to add about what's going on in the world,
Go ahead.
we have to talk about some stuff in the car. First things first, Donald Trump is still crazy. And I think I'm going to move on from that. Like, there's just so many things that have happened from him trying to basically sabotage, not even sabotage. It's not sabotage. It's illegally disrupt the independent investigation by the FBI or whoever into his collusion with Russia, and how like he's tried to completely basically like
Invalidate the probe.
everything.
Yeah.
He's trying to fire Mueller, one,
Right.
which you cannot do. They released a memo just basically saying that the FBI colluded to like vote Hillary Clinton in office. Like there's a secret society in the FBI that, and like low key in the memo, they accidentally validated the probe into Trump. It's like y'all are just idiots across the board.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think it was going to get this far.
They didn't, and I think he's scared. But anyway, so moving on, that's what's going on. He's crazy. I feel like you have to give an update on Trump every single time because he just does something
He's always
doing something crazy.
Also, I want to make a side note about how Melania is pissed to find out about this new...
Do you think that she just found out about this porn star?
I don't know if she knew, but I do know that she is I don't know if she knew, but I do know that one of the top things that she hates is looking like a fool or being embarrassed in public. Like,
How?
all she cares about.
Has she had a conversation with anyone?
No, because
I feel like for example,
yeah,
when people started making fun of her like speech writing, like have you heard her speak?
She hasn't spoken
She
since.
doesn't speak. When people made fun of her her campaign as a first lady, they have done nothing on cyberbullying because guess who looks like the biggest cyberbully online right now?
Her husband.
So it's like she cares about her appearance, her money, and Barron,
and her body double.
Everything else is like
She got a body double?
She's got a body double.
That's y'all's problem.
Yeah.
But for her reputation, I feel like she does care, and I think that goes into like her career and her culture and stuff like that. I do think she cares about that. But
I think maybe she cares that it came out. Yeah,
she
she's mad
that it came out.
Assumptions, but I definitely know that she's upset.
Yeah,
of how it made her look.
Yeah,
especially when you're pregnant with the person's kid.
Right.
Who's pregnant?
No, that's whenever he was having an affair with this porn star. When Melania was pregnant with Barron. With me. But it's really, I feel bad for her. I feel really bad for her. But I mean, in terms of like,
do you know?
No.
I feel really bad for her. Like she should never have stuck to the fact that, because the ultimatum was, or this is the rumor, is that Trump promised her a divorce if he didn't win. And if he did win, then she would be his first lady.
Wow.
And so nobody thought he was going to win, including Melania.
So she was
She said bet.
Because then I think he promised like not to stick 100% to their prenup or whatever, so she would still get like a little bit more money. And so I think she went into this whole thing like, this nigga ain't gonna win. I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna get extra money.
Of a lifetime.
I'm good. And then like on
That's
November,
why she been looking pissed.
Right.
Like, I bet everybody was celebrating in that campaign room except for her. But yeah, I feel bad for her because she doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
She knows better. I'm gonna stop lying. She knows a lot better, but she doesn't have a lot of movement and freedom. Yeah. She's literally stuck, and I know how that feels, and that's a really bad feeling.
Yeah, I see that.
But in the terms of Trump and this Congress and this Republican Party that will not hold their member accountable for any of his actions, in November, a lot of congressional seats are up.
Yep.
And Florida is thinking about, the Supreme Court just said that it's illegal, that Florida is saying that felons can't vote.
Oh,
so
really?
that's like 1.2 million new voters that are going to show up in Florida. And that's already a huge battleground state, and that's going to be incredibly huge to Congress when it comes to Democrats taking over the House and hopefully maybe the Senate. That would be wild.
For them to lose the Senate
and the House. Wow, it would be a great 2019. But and then so moving on from there, also with voting comes, the budget still is not 100% passed. They just did a partial spending bill up until February 8th.
Right. Basically, they do what I do.
Postpone. Yeah, they're procrastinating like crazy right now.
It's stressful. Take a nap.
Yeah, take a nap. Let's just postpone this for a week.
Right.
Y'all want to go out?
You're right. Still, they're getting paid, so it don't matter.
Right.
So on February 8th, they have to come back and either pass a full budget or the government shuts down again. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest things was DACA, the Dreamers, and an immigration reform. And so it's really unlikely that a full-blown immigration reform is going to be passed, but I think that they will pass something for the Dreamers specifically, and then work on something, give Trump his border allowances and whatever the heck. And I'm like, just give him these money, and then whenever we get a Democrat back in, defund it all.
Right. It's
really easy. But then the Republicans are like, let's put the money in a trust so it can't be touched, and then it definitely has to happen. The niggas are smart. But yeah, so with that, the reason also why I think now is going to be a big thing is because recently a U.S. veteran, he had served 2 tours in Afghanistan, just got detained by ICE and is currently about to be deported because the military promised him a green card and didn't follow through. And so now he's on a hunger strike in the deportation jail. Wow. And he's like, I served this country for 2 tours. He's like, so I'm going to die. He's like, I didn't die in Afghanistan, so I'll die in this jail. So he's not eating. If that man dies, it's over.
Wow.
But I don't think he's going to die. I don't think they cannot deport him. Like, they can't.
No.
They can't. And if they do, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, so with those kind of stories coming out about people, and that's the biggest thing about the Republicans and their base, all they care about is patriotism. Well, if you care about patriotism, here is a person who served this country twice, and you're about to ditch him. And he's been here since he was like 8 years old, I think.
If you look at how many immigrants have joined and serve currently in the armed forces.
Yeah. And posthumously or whatever got their citizenship, that's supposed to do something for them. Thanks for the green card. Put it on my tombstone.
Seriously.
Why are you weak, Whitney?
Because why is that even a thing?
Right.
Why is that even a thing?
And it's like, you won't even give it to their families. It's like,
God.
It's like, thank you so for your... You're like at the graveside, like...
This person is a citizen now!
He is a citizen! Wait. We are allowing him to be buried in this...
They don't give it to their next of kin.
No.
There's so many assumptions I have made that
No, in some really severe cases, when it's like a Purple Heart type situation, they'll consider giving it to the next of kin.
As long as you saved a citizen's life.
Right, yeah. If you just died...
Okay, so
you can just be dead.
Go.
Yeah. Buy one, get one! Buy one, get one!
Oh, fuck. Hey, yo.
Did we just cross the line?
No, it's the battery thing just kind of flashed, but die one, get one is hilarious.
It should be the next, Tom Cruise movie.
Fact. I'm tired of seeing his ass. Anyways, is that in a word recap? You got anything to keep?
In case you guys would like to be aware, what's going on in Kenya. And by the way, Kenya has been a stalwart and a trailblazer for democracy in Africa, because if y'all didn't know, we sometimes have dictators and ill rulers, but smart people, but just mismanagement of government. And
power hungry.
So we have been, I think, one of the people or one of the countries that have made a difference in being open about our elections and fair, and even nominating people we thought could actually make a difference. And our recent election, though, had a lot of controversy. And basically, the 2 main candidates was an incumbent and the opposition. And the opposition represents a lot of the people who would feel in the country that they're marginalized or a minority. And essentially, he said, I'm not even going to participate in our elections because I, one, know it's rigged. Two, I mean, it was like a dramatic election process. And two, he's just going to, the incumbent is just going to rig it to make himself win. And so I'm not going to vote, and I'm calling you guys not to vote. So by a landslide, well, not even really a landslide, but the incumbent won. And the opposition said, that's fine. We're going to swear in as well. And so this
he declared himself president
this
too?
past Tuesday, he held a ceremony. How wild is this? Only in Africa, I tell you. He held his own swearing in. And I mean,
and people recognize him.
People came, but I don't know if they came mostly for
the shenanigans,
or for. But there was a lot of people who were like, "Yes, like it's our time." Okay, and now we all remember what happened with Rwanda in the 90s.
Exactly.
That's what
our time led to genocide.
Right. And so there have been so many efforts, especially with our generation, of people pushing for peace and pushing for unity and saying, like, at the end of the day, an election is not worth your blood because time continues and law. And we got a new constitution in 2010 that was more democratic than ever before. And so there's a lot of hope. But what's crazy now is that the incumbent has been accused of, they would even say pulling a Trump and monopolizing some of the media and just kind of like fixating it and deciding what's real news and what's fake news, right? To the point of like, because it's Africa, so it's going to go to an extreme, like a blackout, like a media blackout, where like he didn't want news stations to like even report this fake presidency. Okay. There were journalists hiding, scared of being arrested. And so our people are like, okay, now we're crossing the line into, we've taken so many steps forward, but now we're going further back into people being afraid to have freedom of speech, people being afraid to have a freedom of assembly.
And that constitution that was just initiated in 2010.
Absolutely. It's like, so I think like now more than ever, I think anyone who can do something needs to do something, but like we have an opportunity. I feel like we're in the turning point now to push for that freedom and also to sit down and listen and be like, okay, how can we come to a medium? Because you can't tell me that at some point you're not here for our country and the well-being of our nation altogether. Like you might differ on how you spend money but I truly believe like if you are really putting the people first, which there's many crooks that are not, but if you are, and like you say you are, we as the people of Kenya have a responsibility to hold you accountable, and you have the responsibility to come to an agreement on every issue.
I think that's what makes also the U.S. issue even worse, because at one point the U.S. is considered the leader of the free world, and when situations like this happen, because there are certain trade agreements, because there are certain like allowances, because there are certain things that the U.S. gives certain countries, you're able to leverage that and be like, if you want your country to keep getting this, you need to rectify this situation.
Right.
And that's why foreign policy and a president who knows foreign policy, who has a Secretary of State and a State Department that understands foreign policy, is able to operate well and keep these relationships going.
Absolutely.
And also make sure that other countries are holding up their rule of democracy.
Right.
To the point where it benefits the people, because honestly, whether Kenyan citizens hold their government accountable, if government like members do not care about the people, they could care less. And that's a trend that's true. It's like the rich in Africa are happy being rich, and they could care less about the trickle down. And so if they're in certain positions of power, it's like, well, I made it, so figure it out. And I mean, God forbid somebody says, oh, we're going to do an uprising, we're going to protest. They could just kill you all and be like, I'm the president, it's in the law, I can do this, because they've done it before. And so that's what it's like. So like whether it's African countries too, and that's my thing is like Africa, like we have the AU, which is meaningless, it's useless because the president of it is also a dictator,
right?
And it's like, but it's like, are we going to hold each other accountable just as we expect the rest of the world to hold us accountable?
Yeah.
Or are we going to be a little two-faced about how we handle situations and say, yeah, you know, the U.S. looks like crap, or, you know, we did this and they did that. But whenever your neighbor and your neighboring country and your fellow African is doing this to this people, you're like, well, you know, we over here in West Africa chilling.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think Africa's figured out a way to work together. Because we still have, like, just, like, typical, like, rivalries. Just, like, Ghana jollof and Nigerian jollof. And, like,
stupid
or, like, people don't like
for
Nigerians.
sure.
Or, like, Ugandans don't really like Kenyans. And, like...
And tribalism within the own
within,
country.
within
like
you're
the same
like,
people. Y'all hold the same passport, but...
Yeah.
Tribalism.
No, there's this one tribe that we just don't like. Like...
Right.
But it's, like, it's because we just don't understand their tradition. And that doesn't, like, mean that they're just shitty people. They kind of are shitty people. They're just, like, really arrogant and, like, they're really cocky because they're the tribe that they still have, like, a king, and they still do all that stuff. But no, they're, like, they're just really, like, arrogant about it. And so we're just not like huge fans of them,
right?
So we don't even like each other, like you said. So it's hard for our dictator president to see what's going on in Kenya and give a fuck about it because he doesn't even give a fuck about what's going on in the
Uganda.
At the same time, though, like I still think that like we have to start solving our own problems.
Oh no,
like,
I agree.
Like in your family, like you should not have to rely on. I mean, it would be nice if a therapist came and helped deal with it, but there's some things that like you've got to figure out.
Not even a therapist, like your next door neighbor shouldn't come over and mediate your family issues.
For sure.
Yeah,
because I feel like it feeds into, Lord, God forbid the West comes in to mediate, and now you have we had to come in and save y'all.
Right,
from
exactly.
Total destruction. Oh, the UN's had to step in, or the US had to come in and set y'all standards. You savages, like, like we can.
But it doesn't even stop there. It's like
doesn't.
now we have control and interest in your natural resources.
Absolutely. And so it's just, I mean, it needs to get sorted. Also, we're putting a lot of things at risk. Other people's investment in our country. Mm-hmm. A lot of the progress that we've had.
Up to this point. Yeah. I think I have hope. I definitely have hope.
No, for sure.
But I think it's going to take, and it just goes back to this, a certain group of young people, a generation of young people to be okay with not seeing their change immediately and still going back home to try and impact some level of change. But leading...
long time.
But
anyways,
leading into today, what is this? It's February. It's Black History Month. It's exciting, and selfishly,
what? Bless you. I thought you were about to say something really extra. I was like, you're like.
Selfishly, because I'm Ghanaian, my Black History Month fact is about Ghana.
Okay. Were we supposed to get facts?
No.
Why didn't you tell anybody?
I know.
I just thought about it now because I realized.
She said selfishly.
Yeah, I just realized it was Black History Month. But our Independence Day, Ghana's Independence Day, we turned 61 early March. But you know the situation started happening in February, so we can count it. We were the first independent state in Western Africa.
Yay!
Wait, I thought Liberia.
Liberia was basically colonized by the U.S. and has stayed. That's why that their passports and their flag and everything is still directly tied to the United States of America. Dang. Liberia is.
We just talked about how
Liberians ain't Africans.
Oh
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
She's not. Shaking my head. Talk about it's gonna take a generation.
We've got to work together.
I love it.
Anyways, well, I don't have a fun fact, so was that end of world recap?
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
When it comes to Black History Month, do y'all always feel like you have a seat at the table?
About what?
About like, I don't know. I always feel like it's all fun and games now, but say reparations were given out.
We wouldn't get none. Now, if they slip up and put my name on the list, I'll take it.
I just feel like I don't necessarily have a shared history, but I'm here for it, and I'm here for celebrating everything now and everything that has happened.
Why are you weak, Winnie? Why are you weak?
Are you dead?
Why are you weak? What is going on?
I was trying to figure out what reparations
Oh my God.
That's why you're not going to be on the list.
Bro, can I tell you what happened yesterday? So when he was asking me a question about we were talking about something, and we were talking about dairy, and she was like, "Dang, so that means I can't eat eggs?" And I was like, "No, it's you're not dairy. It's just," I was like, "It's dairy. It's not." She was like, "But eggs are dairy," and I was like, "No, eggs are not dairy." And she was like, yeah, eggs are dairy." And I'm like, "Why would eggs be dairy?" She's like, "Because in every picture they're always sitting next to the milk."
I didn't say because in every picture. I just said it was a common misconception when I Googled it. I am weak right now. Can somebody please comment and let me know that I am not the only person that thought
And then she said French fries were a vegetable because they came from potatoes.
It's a starch.
It's a vegetable.
Yeah, it's a root.
It's a vegetable.
So French fries are vegetables?
Yes.
Potatoes are technically,
yes.
Like sweet potatoes too. I tried to help you out.
It's a fucking vegetable. Like, there's a difference between an egg not being dairy, but a fucking French fry comes from a potato. It's a fucking vegetable. God damn it. Can somebody please? I'm tired of talking about this. Anyways, yeah, I would not get reparations because
you be looking at the list like this looks like a bill collecting thing. No.
Oh, God. I just look over and she's really weak. I'm like,
I was really trying to figure out what that word meant. I was like, I don't know how to answer this question.
I think the government should a lot, especially educationally. Like,
they paid the reparations to the for the internment camps,
right?
For the Japanese, Chinese internment camps,
Americans as well.
And I'm like, why is it just the blacks? You can't seem to find the budget for it, but you can find it for a daggone wall.
Right.
Like Mexicans don't build tunnels.
And I'm even saying like, even if not a check, like at least
education,
at the very least, free education, free
college education.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
that's a fact.
Really, any education of choice.
I mean, and I guess they say they solved that problem because of affirmative action, but not necessarily.
No.
Yeah.
Miss World Rica.
Winnie's over this conversation.
Yeah. Oh no, you continue. I'm sorry.
No, we finished.
Yeah, we're done. Go
ahead and shut that down.
Oh gosh. Well, Black Panther comes out this week, and just be on the lookout for us in our full-blown African outfits, draped. Just get ready for the Black excellence.
I'm wearing a
drips and drapes.
You're wearing a gillet?
I'm not even Nigerian.
But you're wearing a gillet. Yeah, I specifically found a lady because I couldn't get my kente cloth delivered here from Ghana soon enough. So I found a lady who sells kente. I'm about to go ahead and walk into that thing with the African drape. I saw this meme today. I saw this meme today. It was like the guy was standing there dressed like Eddie Murphy from Coming to America, and he's like, movie theater. What are you here to see today? And he's like, what do you think?
You know why
I'm here. I can't wait. But yeah, so I hope everybody enjoys that. Black excellence all day long. Let's live our best lives. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you so much, Vicky.
Thank you. Song.
Huh? We're not doing songs of the week anymore because
first of all,
YouTube.
That was in episode 1. You were not paying attention.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, Google flags us every time we every single time we get it. So it got to the point where when I before I was able to upload episode 1 of season 2, I had to take a copyright course, like watch like this video and take a quiz.
Google made you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, YouTube made me do it. It was like
a rehabilitation thing.
Yeah, it was like you've had too many flags on the account.
This is what copyright means.
Watch this video and answer this, and I got one wrong.
Okay, but
You got one wrong.
But Whitney, you've had a history of copyright infringement.
What you talking about?
DVDs.
But
Hey,
that's not
but
you. But you didn't get caught for that. You know what I'm saying?
And I didn't sell them.
No.
I never sold them.
Remember when Martha said she got that email?
Oh yeah, because I was downloading. Because Time Warner was like, you
download
download, you keep downloading this shit, you gonna get arrested. You gonna get slapped with a $10,000 fine.
My ex got one from from UNC Charlotte, because he was using their
At school.
Yeah.
Their email?
Yeah, they were like, we recognize that there's been a lot of illegal activity coming
On
from
this
this
IP
Yeah,
address.
yeah.
You got me.
Oh god. Alright, you know what? Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Galentines Day, whoever you're with. Here's a bunch of love from us to you. And happy Blackness Week.
Yes.
Happy Blackness. Actually, happy Blackness Year.
Happy
Happy Blackness Lifetime.
Yeah.
Lifetime.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
It's okay. Just keep spilling the words in the mouth. Sorry. But anyways.
Happy Blackness Universe.
Happy Blackness Infinity. Okay.
I win.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, guys.
All right, guys, it's been real. Thank you, Vicky, for joining us. This has been awesome. And